Hi, I'm BasicG.47 and welcome to my Elite Dangerous Horizons mining tutorial. Right, first of all, we're actually docked at Filipchenko Gateway at the Gendem with the system. So that's where we are right now. And the ship that I'm in at the moment is a Python. So first of all, let's go into Starport Services. Okay, so now I'm going to pretend that I'm a beginner and that this is my first mining ship. I've just docked here and I want to buy myself a new mining ship. So let's go into Shipyard and let's have a look at what's available. So most of you will probably be at the moment being a Sidewinder, which is a very basic ship. It's not very good for mining or anything really. So I remember when I first started this game, I just couldn't wait to get out of this ship and get into something a bit better, a bit more capable, and capable of making some decent money. So I moved on to the hauler. I didn't bother with the Eagle, I just moved straight onto the hauler because it's got some cargo space. I didn't actually do mining to start off with, I just traded, but mining is a useful alternative. Okay, so I'm actually going to buy this ship right now. Right, so let's go into Starport Services and outfitting. So we're already in outfitting, which is really useful. So now I'm going to explain about the different modules that you have on your ship. So your module groups are your basic module groups are these four here, which is your optional internal, core internal, utility mounts, and your hard points. The livery and stored modules are independent. That's not actually anything to do with the ship as it is right now. The livery, I've never bothered with the livery. If you want any of this, you actually have to go to the Frontier website and pay for them with real money. I've never bothered because I'm quite happy just to fly around with my ship as it is and play the game as it is. Of course, that's me. Not everybody feels the same way as me. Maybe other people want to do that, but that's down to them. Stored modules. It's a useful thing in this game. I've actually got quite a lot of stuff stored in here at the moment because I'm quite well into this game. But it's very useful if you wish to store things on your ship. It's like, for instance, the ship that I have at the moment, the Python, my other ship, is a very good miner and also a very good battleship as well. So I'm able to change the setup of that ship and put certain modules into storage and change them and swap them around according to my needs. Okay. So first of all, I need to explain about the different modules that are inside these module groups. So first of all, hardpoints. With this particular ship you only have one small hardpoint which has a pulse laser fitted. And then you have the utility mounts. I won't actually be using these, but just to explain very quickly, these utility mounts, you could buy any of these 8 items here to fit into those utility mounts. Shield boosters, which are very useful if you have shields. They can actually literally boost your shields and make them a little bit stronger. Heat sink launchers, which are very useful if your ship starts to overheat. So you can have one of those to literally get rid of any excess heat that's in your ship. ECMs, very useful. Anti-missile technology. A lot of them are literally what they say they are. Manifest scanners if you wish to scan somebody else's cargo bay and see what they've got in their cargo. If you want to be a pirate, it's ideal. But I'm not actually going to bother with any of this right now because I'm setting up my ship as a mining ship. So let's go back. And then you have your core internal. And these are all these modules. Excuse me. All these modules are upgradable. So, for instance, lightweight alloys bulkheads can be upgraded to much stronger bulkheads. But obviously, they come at a cost. And as this is a basic setup as a mining ship, we won't be doing any of this. In fact, to be honest, I won't be changing any of the core internals on this particular ship right now, because this is a very basic setup. I just want to make it into a miner, and just to go out there and get some money so I can move on to a better ship than the one that I have now. Okay, then you have optional internal. And as you can see, you've got 5 module slots available. This one here, the planetary approach suite, you can't do anything with that. You need a planetary approach suite to navigate your ship, and you wouldn't better fit anything else in there anyway, as the only thing that can go in there is a planetary approach suite. So effectively I've got 4 optional internal slots available. Okay, now there are 3 things that you need when setting up a mining ship. In order to 3 things that you need to set up a mining ship in your optional internals. You also need a mining laser, but I shall be fitting that later on. At the moment I shall be concentrating on the optional internals. So first of all, what I'm going to do is sell these 4 items here to free up those spaces. So I'll sell my basic discovery sounder, my shield generator, which may sound a bit suicidal, but I need that space, and then one of the cargo racks, and then this cargo rack as well. So now these 4 spaces are empty. And the 3 things that you need to mine are Prospector limpets, collector limpets, and a refinery, and obviously a cargo bay to put all your collected materials in. So first of all, in the number 1 empty internal compartment, we'll buy some Prospector limpets. So let's see what we've got available. We have 3 different types available, ranging in price from the cheapest to the most expensive. I'm not even going to bother looking at these 2 here. I'm just going to go straight for the cheapest, cheap and cheerful. All I need to know is what's inside the asteroid, and that's it. And then the number 2 internal compartment, I'll be putting collector limpets in here. So collection limpets, doink. Let's see what we got available. And we've got 5 different varieties available there. Excuse me. So the cheapest one is this one here, the 1E collector limpet controller, which has a target range of 800 meters and a limpet lifetime of 300 seconds, which is 5 minutes. Now, generally when I'm mining, I mine very close to the fragments, so range isn't really critically important. What really matters to me is the limpet lifetime. So I want something that's going to last for a while. So let's have a look at the second choice, this one here. So the range, 600 meters, it's not very far, but it's got a 10-minute limpet lifetime, which is not bad at all. If I continue on, this one has a greater range but less time, 510 seconds. So literally all I'm looking at is time and value for money. This one has 720 seconds, which is 12 minutes, but it's 9,600 credits. So for 1,200 credits I can have something that's a little bit less time, but it will do the job that I needed to do. I'm only going to have a cargo bay of 8 tons anyway on this particular ship, so 10 minutes I'm only going to be using 1 collector limpet to get everything that I need. So let's buy that. Right, just before I continue, something I wanted to explain was about power usage on this particular ship, which is relevant to all ships, but I'll explain it for this ship. Now, whenever you install new components or new modules into your ship, obviously that uses power. Now this particular ship, let's go back, go into core internal, let's go into power plant. This particular power plant has a power capacity of 6.40 megawatts. And at the moment, my retracted power usage and my deployed power usage is 3.88 megawatts and 4.27 megawatts deployed. Which means that I'm well below the maximum power that I have available, my maximum power capacity, which is good. Now, whenever fitting out a ship, I found out in the early days of playing this game, found out the hard way what happens if you put too many high-powered components or modules into your ship that actually exceed the maximum power supply. And what happens, or what can happen, is the retracted power draw is just slightly less than the maximum available, and the deployed is over that. So when I go out into space and I'm flying about and doing my stuff, if I happen to deploy my lasers or any of my hard points, what can happen is it then goes over the maximum power available and my ship will shut down. I found that out the hard way, and I had to retract my lasers quickly, otherwise my emergency air would run out. So yes, so that's something always important to bear in mind whenever buying modules for your ship, is not to make sure that the modules that you buy and install do not exceed the maximum power available. Alternatively, if you have to, you can always buy better power supplies, which will give you more power. This one has 9.6 megawatts, 8.8. So if you wish to, you can do that, but obviously that costs money. I don't really want to spend any more money at the moment. I just need a very basic mining ship that will do the job. So let's go back to optional internal and continue installing modules. So the next one I need is a refinery. So here we are, refineries. Now, whenever I'm mining on my bigger ships, well, on my big ship, the Python, my Python has actually got a refinery with 8 bins. But you'll find that most of the asteroids that you'll be mining have more than one commodity available to mine. Most of them I found have a maximum of 3. So the way I see it is you need to have a minimum of 3 bins to be able to go mining. So 1 and 2, as far as I'm concerned, doesn't cut it. So you're better off having something that's got 3. So the cheapest one that I can find that's got 3 is this one here, the 2D refinery, 37,800 credits. It's got 3 bins, and that does the job. That's exactly what I'm looking for. And if you look down here, retracted and deployed power requirement, you can see there's a little bit there in red. That's how much more power I'm going to need to power this particular refinery, but I'm still well within the power capacity of this ship, so not a problem. So I'm just going to buy that. Let's do that. Okay, so now I'm going to buy a cargo rack. Now, the very best cargo rack I can get for this particular slot is an 8-ton cargo rack. That's it. So I've got a capacity of 8 tons. But obviously, depending on what I mine for, depending on the value of the items that I mine for, 8 tons can actually be worth quite a lot of money. If it's 8 tons of paynite, that's over 500,000 credits. If it's 8 tons of bertrandite, it's about 16,000 credits. So depending on what I mine for, there's a certain amount of luck involved in mining, but it's good fun. I enjoy it anyway. Right, so that's all the optional internal slots sorted out. Let's go back and let's go into Hardpoints and let's sell this pulse laser. Don't need it. And let's fit a mining laser. So we have a choice of 2 mining lasers. One of them is turreted and one of them is a basic forward firing mining laser. There's no point me spending extra money on a turreted laser. The basic forward firing mining laser will do the job. I'm on a tight budget here, so as you can see down here, retracted it doesn't draw any power, but deployed you can see it does draw some power there. So you could imagine that if my retracted power was all the way up here, my deployed was all the way up here, and I deployed my laser, I'd be in trouble. But obviously that's not the situation, so we're well within the power capacity, so let's buy that. That's it. There's a nice brand new, shiny new mining laser there, ready for me to use. Oh, before we move on, I just wanted to explain actually, it's important to explain the impact of installing modules onto your ship, the impact it can have on your jump range and on your top speed. So at the moment, with all the modules I've got fitted, I've got a maximum laden jump range of 8.77 light years and a maximum unladen range of 10.94 light years, and a maximum top speed of 204 meters per second and a maximum boost speed of 306 meters per second, this being sublight speed. And just to demonstrate, I'll click on the mining laser there, click sell, and you can see straight away what I would have if I didn't have this mining laser, or if I was to sell it, or it wasn't there in the first place. Straight away you can see my minimum jump range, my laden jump range has increased to 9.23 light years, unladen 11.66 light years, top speed 205 meters per second, and boost speed 307 meters per second. But we're not actually going to sell that because we need a mining laser. There are ways to improve the jump range and the maximum speed, which involves buying a more expensive or better frame shift drive, or buying better thrusters, but we're not going to go into that. That's something, it does cost a lot of money, and to be fair, what we have there is more than adequate for what I need. So let's go back. Now I have to set up my fire groups. I'm glad it does this. It's a useful thing that it reminds you to set up your fire groups, which is very, very simple. Right, so Prospector limpet controller and collector limpet. So that's it. All my fire groups are set up, ready to go. Now before I go anywhere, I always like to look at the mission boards, because sometimes you can get some missions on here that involve mining, and you can make a little bit of money. So we'll have a quick look. I don't think there's anything on here actually, but we'll have a look anyway. So look, here's an example straight away. 14 units of praseodymium, 1 million credits. 18 units of samarium, 833,000 credits. So there's a bit of money to be made there. Unfortunately, my cargo bay is only 8 tons, and yep, 18 tons. I can't do that because my cargo bay isn't big enough. But hey ho, it just goes to show the kind of money you can make if you've got the right kind of ship and the right kind of equipment, and also the right kind of reputation as well. The reason why I've got a good reputation at this particular station is because I've done a lot of mining in the past here, and I've increased my reputation to Allied. If you've just started mining, or if you're just beginning to do some business or trading with this particular system, you won't have any reputation at all, and you'll have to develop and build that reputation in order for you to be entitled to the missions available. And also, so it's a lot of it's down to reputation and also the kind of ship that you've got as well. So you need to have a good enough ship to be able to accommodate the cargo, and to have the right reputation to be worthy of it. Right, so let's have a look here. 15 units of osmium, bromellite, no, can't do any of it. But it's definitely worth bearing in mind, and it never hurts to check. I always do anyway. So let's go back and exit. Now, obviously, whenever you go mining, you need to know the best places to mine, because there's a lot of different places you can mine. You can mine asteroid belts. I'll show you now. Actually, I'll go into the system map. This particular system I'm in at the moment is a very good place to mine. You've got a lot of ringed planets. You've got a little asteroid belt there as well. But the ideal places to mine, in my opinion, are basically metallic rings of planets, of these ringed planets here. I'll select that one and I'll show you. So this particular one here, which is Gendon with a A1, has got a metallic inner ring, that's the A ring, and its pristine reserves. So you want a combination of metallic and pristine reserves. You get that combination right and you're on a winner. You'll get some good mining. There are other places that you can mine. You've got rocky rings, you've got icy rings as well. You've got different types of reserves. You've got depleted, low, common, major, and of course pristine is the one that you want. The ones that you really want to bother with are major and pristine. Personally myself, I wouldn't bother with anything less than major and pristine reserves. And types of rings that you want to mine: metallic or metal rich. Metallic is the best. I personally myself, I don't even bother with metal rich. Metallic is the one to go for. Otherwise you're just not going to make some, if you want to make serious money, this is the place to go to, in my opinion. Okay, back. That's it, let's get that away. Now, when you come to sell your commodities, the best places to sell, the best locations to sell, is places that are in boom. Now, I know this particular system that I'm in right now has got a faction that's in boom. Actually, I'll just go here. Let's go back. There's an easier way of showing this. So if you go into Galnet down here, Gendon with a faction status summary. Click that, and it will show you. So Gendon with a Crimson Natural Core, they are in economic boom. So this particular faction is in boom. If I scroll down, there's another one here, Phoenix Down. They're not in boom at the moment, but they are looking forward to an economic boom, so something will probably be coming up with them soon. Exit. So if I go into my system map and have a little look around, so where I'm docked at the moment is at Phoenix Down, which is the one you just seen is looking forward to an economic boom. If I go to Gendon with an A4C, Scorcher Camp, this one here. Now this particular one is the Gendon with a Crimson Natural Core, which is in boom. So this would be an ideal place for me to sell my commodities when I've finished mining. So I shall bear that in mind when I've finished my mining. I may go here just to sell my commodities, and hopefully I'll make some decent, because boom places or boom docks are the best places to sell. You'll get the best prices for your commodities here, and that's what you want. For instance, painite. If I look where I am now, go into commodities market, scroll down to painite. At the moment it's 45,720 credits per unit, which is good money, but in a boom dock or a boom faction, that'll be over 70,000 credits per unit. So there's a lot of money difference. If you've got 4 or 5 units of painite on your ship, you're looking at a difference of, let me do the maths, about 150,000 credits, 140, 150,000 credits, give or take, which is a lot of money. When you're a beginner, you need that kind of money, can make a huge difference. Okay, so now we need to buy some limpets. Let's get that done. I'm only going to half fill my cargo bay with that, because obviously I need to have some space in my cargo bay to put my stuff, my cargo. I'm going to get an extra one just for luck. That's it. Confirm. I can always dump it if I need to. They're not that expensive. Back, exit. That's it. Okay, so now let's leave the space station. Launch.
Ship restraints withdrawn. Departure authorized.
Okay. Let's just fly away from the space station, get out of the way. Right, so let's find somewhere to mine. Now I've already selected this particular planet here, but that's quite a long way away from the space station. Now I know that this particular planet here also has a metallic ring, and it also has pristine reserves, and it's a hell of a lot closer. So I'm going to go there instead, because it's closer. It'll be a lot, you know, I've only got a small ship and a small cargo bay, so I need a fast turnaround. I need to be as close as possible to any prospective station that I'm going to be selling my commodities. So yeah, so let's do it. Now before I go into frameshift drive, I'll just very quickly explain the different modes of space transport in this game. You may already know, but I'll explain anyway. So you get, before frameshift, you get your basic sublight drive, which is just manoeuvring through space, as I am right now. And at the moment this ship has got a maximum speed of 202, 203 kilometres per second. And then you have what I call Mode 1 and Mode 2 frameshift drive. Mode 1 frameshift drive is interplanetary drive. It's faster than light, but it's a slower speed than Mode 2 frameshift drive. Mode 2 frameshift drive is interstellar or hyperdrive. So that's basically for transporting between or travelling between star systems. So Mode 1 is interplanetary, Mode 2 is interstellar. Okay, so before we actually go mining, I'm just going to leave it there, and when we come back we'll go into frameshift drive and we'll go and do some mining. So thanks very much for listening.